everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter, and I am here with a project for you. This video is actually going to be a video on some of the elements of the project and not the complete project itself. This is for the September post for the My Pink designers at mypinkstamper.com post for these, and all of us are using the My Pink Stamper School Days stamp set and creating a 3D project with it. So my project is actually going to be to take this tin, and I found this on clearance at one of the big scrapbook stores or craft stores, and I am just going to decorate this and make this a tin that a teacher can use on their desk for pencils and scissors and that sort of thing. And you know, initially you could fill it with candy or whatever. So I'm just going to show you some of the elements, and then you will see a picture of the completed project in the video and on my blog as well. But because it is going to be a little more time consuming for some of the elements, I wanted to just show you those elements. So this paper here was actually printed on my Cricut Imagine, and I used the Imagine More cards cartridge to just do the print page feature. But you could use, you know, any kind of school looking notebook paper that you can find if you don't have access to that. I'm going to start, I have a piece that is 3/4 by whatever. That doesn't matter because I'm going to cut it down, and I'm going to use the Timber Brown Stays On ink to stamp the sentiment World's Best Teacher. So I'm going to start out by inking that up really well. And I kind of want some of that red because I think this red stripe really makes it look like notebook paper. So I'm going to stamp kind of my image or my sentiment right kind of over that. And so there's that, and I can set that stamp aside. And on this piece here, this larger piece, this is actually 3 inches by 10 7/8, and the reason it is that size is because I just measured what would fit around my tin. So I'm just going to take this stamp. It's also from the School Days stamp set by My Pink Stamper. I'm going to ink this in the Timber Brown Stays On ink as well, and this one says School Days, School Days, and I am just going to stamp that kind of all across one of these lines here, so it kind of looks like someone's written on this paper. And I'm going to set these aside, or actually I'm going to take this one and I'm going to cut it down into a banner shape. So I just kind of snip the ends, maybe a little bit more. I kind of try to start with even ends when I do this, so even amounts from here to here. And then I just kind of take from the corner and cut in. And I just kind of make it work. So I just cut the V out, and then I'll do the same thing to this side. So there I have my little banner shape. Easy as that. And I can set these aside because I'm going to be working with Mod Podge in a little bit to kind of seal these up. And I'll go ahead and put together my apple. Now this apple, I cut it out of chipboard, and the reason that I wanted to do that is I wanted a really sturdy piece that over time would kind of not break down, and that's where the Mod Podge comes in later too. But if I were to do just the paper, even with Mod Podge, I think over time, you know, it's just kind of flimsy, and if this is on a desk or something, I really want it to stand up well. So I cut my apple, this is from the Doodle Charms cartridge, at 2.5 inches, and I used it in the blackout feature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start assembling this apple. Now this paper here is from the Echo Parks Dots and Stripes collection, and so that is the green and the red paper. So I just want to make sure I get plenty of glue on this. I'm going to put it right on top of that chipboard. Okay, so for the next element that I'm going to be Mod Podging, because I'm going to be Mod Podging all of these things, I have brought in my Martha Stewart scoreboard here, or scoring board, or whatever it's called. And I am going to take this piece of paper. Now this is 8 inches by 1 1/4, and I'm going to score every 1/2 inch on this. And I'm trying to keep my hands out of the way for you, but I have to be able to hold this as well. So 1, 1 1/2, 2, 2 1/2, all the way across. Now, once I've scored that at a 1/2 inch, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to score every 1/4 inch on the other side. And what I'm doing is I'm creating what I've seen called lollies, what I would call a rosette probably, but you may have heard it either way. So I'm just creating these score lines to help me fold my accordion shape in order to make that. So now this is my scored piece of notebook paper, and what I can do is just start folding along these creases and making an accordion out of it. Okay, so now I have done this twice and I have 2 of my accordion shapes. So what I can do is put these together in order to make my rosette. And I am going to use the score tape for that, and I really like score tape because it's nice and heavy duty and I can tear it so I don't have to use my scissors and get those all gunky. So I'll just put 1 piece here, and I'll put 1 piece here, and then I'll take my 2 accordion shapes and I kind of just made that peak and valley match up on that one, and then I'll take this side and I'll do the same. So I'll just take those like that to where they match up and stick them together. Now, if I can get this to cooperate, I have my accordion put together to create my lolly or rosette. So in order to complete this, I have a 1 3/4 inch circle just that I punched here, and I have my hot glue gun. Now you don't have to use hot glue, but because it dries quickly and it keeps you from having to kind of hold it in place for a long time, it kind of works well. So you kind of can just find what works for you. I'm going to use the hot glue today, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to get this prepared kind of like this, and I'm going to lay it on that hot glue. Oops. Kind of just work it together. And the hot glue just kind of allows you to kind of have it set a little quicker than maybe some other wet glues. So, but give you enough time to kind of play with it too. Okay, and so there is my rosette. Now I can bring all these pieces back over, and I am going to be using this paper Mod Podge, and this is the luster, and I'm going to be coating all of these pieces that I've just stamped and created here. So I'm going to bring all these in. I'm going to take a little file and kind of file along this edge here because I see kind of a little bit of grain showing. So I'm just going to start coating these, and I just have like a little foam applicator here, and I'm going to wipe off quite a bit of it, and I am just going to go over these in light coats, and I'll give them each a few coats just to kind of seal it up and make it more durable and lasting over time. And then on this Imagine paper, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm using thin coats, and I want to move quickly with it. So, and kind of just nice thin coats over this because I don't want it to bleed too much. And I've kind of experimented with it, and it works pretty well. And I don't know if it's because I'm using the paper Mod Podge and it's a little less wet, or I'm not sure, but I'm finding that this works pretty well. And I'm going to go along this rosette or this lolly and do the same thing and kind of just work it down in between all those little accordion folds. Okay, so I have all of my pieces and they've been Mod Podged, and I did want to note that I did add a 3 1/4 inch circle that I Mod Podged as well, and that's going to be a base for this to kind of offset it from this piece that will wrap around the canister. So anyway, I have my banner. I added a couple little rhinestones to that, and I have tied a little bow using some twine, and I'm just going to start putting this all together. So my little bow is going to go right here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glossy accents there to glue that in place. And then this piece is going to mount on top of there, and I'm going to use hot glue again for this because I feel like it will set best. So I'll just kind of squeeze some out on there, out onto the perimeter. And place that right there. And then my apple is going to go on top like that, and I'm going to use hot glue for that again as well. So I'll just put some glue right here, kind of down the center. And put that in place. So I have this all put together, and my final step is going to be to add this banner across the center. Now I want this to stand up a little bit in the center, so I'm going to use some dimensionals right across the center here. And I'll probably use 2 layers. Let's bring that in. Okay, and so here's my finished embellishment to add to the front of my canister, and I will be showing you a picture of that at the end of this video and also at my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.blogspot.com. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.